Mystic Michaela, spiritual family. Welcome to Know Your Aura with Mystic Michaela. Today, I have a really interesting guest. I have Steve Kramer. He's the host of several radio shows, several podcasts. He just had me on the show the other day. And as he was talking about his relationship. And I'm in my head, as he was talking, I'm like, oh my God, this guy is basically saying he's a love bomber. Like, he's actually admitting to it, but he has like a conscience about it. We have to get him on and talk to him and get the energy behind it and understand what this is. He also has a really amazing story. Basically 2020, like a lot of people, just took the rug right out from under him, and he manifested his way. And he's a green guy, so this is like a big deal. He had to come to terms with that manifestation is correct and real, and he used it, and he turned everything around. So we're going to talk to Steve Kramer. But first, hey, Scotty.
Hey, guys.
What's going on?
So that's interesting. So I am actually not too familiar with the term love bombing.
Yeah. I
don't think I'm a love bomber.
No.
What does that actually mean?
So, I do so many readings, and, I have girlfriends, and like we all do. And love bombing is when somebody comes on very, very strong.
Okay.
Like, and almost in the first week, 2 weeks, 3 weeks, they're like, I love you. I want to get married. I want a baby. Like, everything. And then they disappear. They completely disappear.
Okay,
and you're left.
Wait. Hold up a second.
Yes.
Okay. So a love bomber comes on strong.
Yes.
It's like when you're first dating.
Yeah.
They tell you they really love you.
Yeah.
They wine and dine you.
Yes, everything. Like, they come on, they lay it on thick.
Okay.
They come on really strong. I talked about this in episode 40, if you want to go back and talk. There's different motivations behind the love bombing. We're going to talk to Kramer. His is more organic. Like, he has a conscience about it. He's trying to fix it. He's also been through a lot of stuff. But some, there's different motivations. Like, some love bombers just want to get one thing from you. Some want to ridicule you. There's different.
Yeah. I mean, now you said he's green.
He is green purple.
But I don't, like, when I heard you just talk about this, I think I missed the episode about love bombing.
Yeah.
I didn't listen to it.
You were
Sorry.
there, but
yeah. All right. That's right. I was there.
You were like there for
I remember it now. I do. But from my red perspective,
yes,
I'm thinking, and I've been out of the game for many
years,
20 years ago. So a couple of decades ago. So this could be totally different now.
All right.
But I would be thinking in my head, and I don't want to seem like crude or crass here or whatever, but if I'm first starting to date someone, and, I'm whining and dining them and blah, 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 all that stuff, that maybe I'm looking for something. A little something.
Mm-hmm.
And then once you get that something, it's like, then you're moving on.
Was that something that you did?
That's not something I did personally. I've heard stories about it. I would never do that.
Yes.
But in my red logical mind, I would think that's what a guy was doing. Not me, that guy, but a different guy.
Right. So that is something that you have to be careful of. With Steve, and he'll tell us his story. Yeah. But some guys, they're just not ready, so they get freaked out. They get free, they start laying it up. They put all of themselves out there. They basically unzip their heart, put it on a plate, give it to who they're seeing. They're saying all these things to this person, and the person all of a sudden is like, "Oh, okay, okay," and then they are just like, "Wait, what? Okay," and then they run away.
Okay.
Which is like one thing. But
so
then
this is not what I'm talking about.
No, but there are love bombers that it depends on your intentions. The intention's like a big thing.
Right.
What's your intention? Some love bombers are really not nice because they want to almost get you to the point, and this is what I talk about in episode 40. Their intention is to get you to the point where you're, maybe they have an issue with being needy, or they have an issue with being emotional or vulnerable. Okay. And so they put that all out there themselves. They make you kind of like, because usually they go after empaths, like deep empaths. So you commingle their feelings with your feelings. You don't know you from them anymore. And then they start to kind of abuse you. This is not what Steve does, but abuse you for feeling all the things that they actually feel. So it's like a mind screw.
Now, this is deep. Now,
yeah,
it's
deep.
This is very deep. This is deeper than my explanation.
Yeah, episode 40, I really go into that one.
I feel bad because we did hire a new receptionist.
Yes.
She right now is in the green room with Steve, and I actually noticed that Steve is kind of telling her, he's not ready to go on air yet. He's getting ready, but he's kind of saying, I love you. He's kind of making
we got to watch him.
Googly eyes at her.
We got to watch him.
I think he's now love bombing our new secretary.
Our Know Your Aura staff, which we absolutely have, is being loved bombed by Steve.
This is crazy. All right. We have a few minutes while Steve gets ready.
Right.
And while we give him a chance to love bomb and see, if he can do that in the next 20 minutes. So I just want to go through some life updates that we've been having.
Life updates.
I thought, the listener, we've had 60 episodes now. What are we on?
Yeah, this is I think 61.
61, yeah. Mm-hmm. So, just some updates from the older episodes.
Okay.
So the first one is just, Free Bert.
Free Bert.
Free Bert was a movement.
Yeah, he's still not free.
No, he's still not free. He did have to eat his turkey in isolation. Yeah. We fed it to him through that slot in the bathroom door. But there is a bright hope here for him.
Okay.
He has taken to liking Turkish soap operas on Netflix.
Did you know that on Netflix there are extremely, this isn't even a joke, if you have nothing to do for the next 6 months, you can get into Turkish soap operas, which Bert is into.
Yes. And he said there's one that has 175 episodes.
Yeah, what was that?
And I think he's watched them all.
There's Winter Sun is one of them. There's 3 of them that they were like, you have to watch them. And they can't stop watching it. So apparently they're extremely addictive. And if you have nothing else to do, do that.
Yeah, it's like Love in Istanbul.
They all take place in Istanbul.
Love on a Camel, I think one is.
He's growing a beard because they all have a beard.
Yes, he is.
Yeah.
Yes, he is.
So.
Okay. Other updates. I posted this actually on Facebook the other day, but we've already been banned from 3 holiday parties for things that I've said.
On the holidays in the 5D episode?
Yep. So we've been banned from 3.
Yeah.
Hopefully no more than that.
Mm-hmm.
Episode 6, we learned that I am a yogi.
Oh, an empaths versus narcissist?
Yeah, you know the number?
I know.
That's amazing.
I know.
So I've been practicing a new pose.
Okay.
It's called the embryo pose.
Oh.
Have you ever seen that one?
Is it like the fetal position or?
It's kind of like where everything gets tucked in. It's very strange. Everyone should go look it up on the internet.
What?
Yeah. Well, I'll let them find that pose themselves. But I just wanted to update them from episode 6. I'm still doing yoga.
Okay.
And I'm doing the embryo pose.
That sounds very detoxifying.
Yeah. You might remember from episode 56. We were looking into retreats.
Yes.
One of the retreats, actually, they listened to our show.
Did they really?
The Naked Retreat.
Oh, yes. That's a real retreat.
Yes, it is a real retreat.
Yeah.
And they contacted us.
Oh.
Yes. They want us to go, free of charge.
Really?
All expenses paid.
I don't want to be naked.
You just have to get into the circle of consent.
Nope, can't do it.
Okay.
It's too COVID-y, first of all.
All right, so I'll write them back.
With the virus, I don't know if I can give consent.
I have not written them back yet, but I will.
Yeah, that's a real retreat.
Okay, from episode 28, we learned that Hannah Brown was living in the 4D. She's now in the 3D.
Oh, no, what happened?
I think TikTok got to her.
TikTok can bring you down.
Yeah, it brought her down. She's just doing silly dances and nonsense.
Yeah.
And, she's got to get back to the 4D.
Okay.
But, we put her in the 4D.
Is it TikTok or is it Reels? Because I know the Reels really upset you on Instagram.
It could be.
Yeah, I know
Reels.
You don't know the difference, but I know you read rants about the Instagram Reels often.
Yes.
There's often, why do I see all these, Megan? You throw your phone at me. Why do I see all these videos? I can't make them stop.
Oh, my God.
I'm like, those are Reels, Scott. Okay. It's okay. It's going to be okay.
Okay, here's another one. I'm actually going to have to take this statement back. On episode 25, I talked about Nick Wallenda. He's the guy that does the tightrope.
The tightrope walking.
And I claim that the only way that he can do it is because he has a track in his foot.
Yeah, you made a bold claim that he surgically implanted a track.
Someone actually, this is actually true. Mm-hmm. Someone reached out to us and that knows him and can vouch that he does not have a track foot.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Were they kind of upset that you would make such a bold claim?
They were kind of upset with me that I made that claim.
So this is a disclaimer.
That's a disclaimer.
This is your apology post. He has a regular foot.
Yes, I apologize. Nick Wallenda. He does not have a track foot. I take that back. If you go back to episode 25, I'm actually have to delete that one.
He's the guy that you're going to have to delete it. He's the guy that tightrope walks between I don't know, the Niagara Falls and volcanoes and stuff.
Yes.
Yeah.
Okay. Another update here is now we know that our number one dream guest for the podcast is the starseed Keanu Reeves.
It is.
We kind of just want to update you. If you like him and you're a fan of his movies, please, whatever you do not watch the movie Knock Knock.
Don't watch it. Don't watch Knock Knock on Netflix.
Yes.
Don't do it.
It will ruin everything.
Do it.
No, don't do it. It'll ruin everything
Just
for you. In fact, he is now not our number one guest anymore.
No, he is.
He's dropped down to number 3.
No, he is.
No, he's our third most.
He takes bold movie choices.
Okay, but his acting in Knock Knock was so bad.
How is he so good in, like, The Matrix? And then, like, that happens.
Yeah, I don't know. I mean...
Just watch it. Don't watch it, actually. It's really screwed up.
Yeah. Okay. A couple more updates here. We'll move on. I've actually finally penned a letter to Jebediah telling him that I am not his twin flame.
You've been trying to end this for a long time.
I'm trying to end it.
I feel like we might have to do some BetterHelp.
Yeah.
BetterHelp.com/KYA about this because it's an issue, Scott.
Yeah. So I have the letter. The only problem is when I went to the post office, his barn does not have an address.
Oh.
So the letter's actually just sitting in the post office right now with Cliff, the mailman.
Okay.
Cliff, my friend, the mailman.
Yeah.
So anyway. So there's that. Oh, another huge update I forgot to tell you guys about. In episode 49, we went to Key West. We talked about going to Key West, and there was a mysterious pair of boxers that were on our balcony. I've put in a few calls to Key West PD. I've been in touch with the housekeeping unit there at the hotel, but they still don't know who the boxers are from.
Okay.
So
that's like a unnecessary update.
Are you sure? No, people really want to know how those boxers got there. I've been getting a lot of messages.
I don't know.
We can't find
it. I let it go. You're very...
No. It's an ongoing investigation.
Is it?
It has not been... It has not been closed.
That was really weird.
Yeah.
Actually.
Episode 49 there. And then a couple other things that we need to talk about. So the Christmas gift exchange we're going to be doing.
Yes.
If you listen to last year's episode, you know that I am the winner. Yeah. I won the Christmas gift exchange.
You're the reigning champ.
I am the reigning champion, at least for another 24 or whatever, 30 days.
Yeah.
This year, we've decided it is going to be a gift you would get from a distant relative, like an older aunt or something like that, an older uncle, something like that. Mystic Michaela is already claiming victory.
I won.
She already says she has the gift.
I know what I'm giving you.
I don't think you're going to win that.
I won.
Are you sure?
Yeah. I'm sorry.
All right. And then the last thing...
It's like my psychological game here.
The last thing, in our episode 63, which is coming up on December 17th.
In the future. Oh, yeah.
Yes. We are going to do a fun scavenger hunt.
Oh, my God. Okay. You guys. This is exciting. Go ahead. Explain it.
So basically, we're going to, in one of the episodes, we're going to give some, I don't know, what would you call it, questions that you need to find the answers to.
Yeah, you don't have to, they're not going to be like podcast based.
Right.
They're going to be like, can you use Google search?
Sure.
Yeah.
Yeah, based off of kind of things in our past.
Right.
Things in Mr. Michaela and my past.
Yeah, but you can Google search it.
And the good news is that we have a lot of gifts. We got a lot of people that donated already.
Yes.
We posted on the Mr. Michaela Spiritual Family page if they'd be willing to donate. And
oh my God, we have gifts valued up to $600.
$600. We have thousands of dollars in gifts.
Thousands of dollars worth of gifts on there. Like people came through there. So we'll explain the rules more in depth.
Yes.
But all you're going to need for the December 17th episode is probably listen to it as it comes out, which is like around midnight Eastern Standard Time.
Yeah, I think we can do it.
No, because it's going to go quick, I think.
Yeah, but I think we can do it where it wouldn't be time sensitive to give everyone a chance. I have an idea on that.
Okay, never mind. Stop that. But then you'll just need your Google search and like a pen and paper.
Yeah.
That's it.
Yes. Pen and paper, an ear to listen.
You'll need an ear to listen.
Yeah. Something like that.
Or somebody to translate it for you if you're not English native speaker.
Right. If you speak another language, then you would
That's all you need.
A translator. Okay, so those are some of the updates.
We're so official.
Those are the things that are going on.
I feel very official.
Yes, that was like kind of like housekeeping. We had to get it out of the way.
Yeah, I feel like I was in school.
I mean, I feel a lot of people were wondering about those boxers. Everyone is on board with Jebediah.
Yeah.
He has an Instagram account with 100,000 followers now.
More than us.
Yeah. So, he's going to start a podcast and crush us. That's what he said. That's what he told me. He's like, if I ever break up with him, he said, I'm starting a podcast to ruin you. Oh. He's like one of those like Miley Cyrus types or something.
Okay.
Yeah, where they Wrecking Ball.
Wrecking Ball song.
Destroys your life if you break up with them.
Yeah.
Or something. Yeah, or Taylor Swift or whatever them. All right. So we have a big issue. All right, so moving on.
All
right.
Segue.
Ding, ding, ding.
Okay.
We got to get an instrument for that.
We do.
All right.
Continue.
Budget, we got to get the budget up a little bit.
The budget needs to get up a little bit.
All right. So every year we throw a huge Christmas party. Oh. We usually have like 30, 40 people there.
Yeah. We shove them in.
We've been debating, are we going to do it this year?
We can't.
With COVID, right? Coronavirus. And
we can't do that.
We can't probably do that. And the kids are upset. Well, Bree's not so upset, but Abby's really upset.
Yeah.
She wants a big party.
It's fun.
I like a big party.
Yeah.
I like to invite everybody. But I think this year we're going to have to do what we call COVID cuts.
COVID cuts. And you all probably have them too.
Yeah.
Stinks.
So I kind of came up with a few questions that would decide the criteria if you're going to be a COVID cut or not.
So this is so you're telling us that you came up with a criteria to see who we could COVID cut or not for our gatherings.
Right. So we're at let's say usually we're at 30-something people.
Yeah.
We got to get this number down.
Yeah.
The CDC says we got to be under 10.
I feel like we were COVID cut from lots of other people's things.
Oh, I think so, because there was 3 parties that we were disinvited to based off of what I said on a podcast.
Yeah.
That's just nasty.
What criteria are we breaking?
Yeah. I mean, obviously nobody wants us around it. I think it's more me than you. I think you had plus 3 parties and I had negative 3 parties.
So it just evened out.
Yeah. All right. So I came up with a few questions that maybe we can answer here, and this will help you at home to decide if you have COVID cuts, who you are going to cut.
You are a double dipper.
Yes, I am. But I do turn the chip. I do turn it.
Uh-huh.
Yeah, and I do kind of snoop around your house and things like that. And I do walk away from you during a conversation. But anyway, all right. The first question we have to ask is, do we cut the person more because of the possibility that they have COVID, or it's because they're annoying and we just say it's COVID?
Okay. That's real. You know what I mean? Because I think in this day and age, it's really easy to be like, well, COVID. But maybe underneath, the real reason is they annoy you.
Right. So are they first of all, are they going to bars? That would be for COVID.
Yeah.
That person's been going
she goes out a lot.
Been on a lot of dates.
Right.
With strange people.
Right.
Okay. And then there's the other thing is do we cut the person that, stayed to our house to midnight last time, or someone who's taking all our leftovers, or the person like me that kind of,
This sounds like it's these are your own personal preferences and you're going to be using COVID as excuses.
That's what
that's what you're just saying.
Well, yeah, but we can say, hey, where have you been? We can kind of interrogate them.
Mm-hmm.
All right. So that's the first question to answer. All right. Number 2. Are they coming to our Christmas party for the right reasons?
The right reasons.
Do they really like us? Are they there for the free meal only?
The free meal? Okay.
Yeah. Is it because they just don't want to cook that night?
That's fine.
They got to be in it for the right reasons.
Okay. I can get behind. All right.
You get behind that?
That's fine.
The right reasons? Are you sure?
All right.
Because, a lot of times they're not. And then, sometimes I find a message, a DM or a text. Yeah, from saying they're only coming because.
Oh, you mean other people are telling on them?
Yes.
So you're saying somebody comes to your party,
right?
And then you get one of their exes,
right?
Saying they're coming
from
to
the
your
same
party,
town. Yes, from the same town
for the wrong reasons.
Correct.
Whoa, they were just DMing them about going to their parties before they chose your party.
Right.
Okay, I get where you're going with this.
So we gotta decide that. We gotta see that. Okay. Another question I have here is, are they coming to our house? And you just go with me on this one. Okay. I know you're going to be like, no, Scott, no. But please. Okay. Please, Mr. Michaela. Are they looking for a fantasy suite card?
Oh, gross.
Yeah. Maybe they really, really like us.
Right.
And,
maybe. It is South Florida.
That
stuff happens.
Yeah. They really, really like us.
Right.
And that's what they're looking for. It's not that they really want the holiday cheer and the eggnog and the mistletoe, maybe more of the mistletoe.
They're looking for the fantasy suite experience.
Right.
Okay.
Yeah, kind of like when Chris Harrison gives out those cards.
Possible. Okay.
There was a guy named, I think, Pete that tried to get into our party one year.
Yeah?
Yeah, he was a pilot.
Oh, my God. Pilot Pete?
No, it was just a guy named Pete who was a pilot.
Pete, Pete Pilot.
Pete Pilot.
Got it.
Yeah. I don't know if his name was Pete Pilot or he was a pilot named Pete.
All right, moving on. We get it.
Yeah. We did have that Christmas
sweets.
decoration of a windmill out in front. So
that's going to bring them in.
Then the other one I have here, and, are they looking to be on your Instagram? You have a very popular account. And every year, or maybe better yet, they're looking to be on my Instagram.
Oh.
Okay, because every year I post the picture,
we have the group picture
up the stairs.
Yeah.
Are they looking to be on your Instagram? Maybe they want to sell some sort of fun box, whatever they call it, FabFitFun or Diff Eyewear. Not our sponsors at all.
They're not ours.
We don't like
I don't think we're there yet.
Maybe sooner in the future.
That would be cool. Like, we're going to eat our words if they ever decide to sponsor.
Well, actually, they just
never mind, they're great.
Okay. and we post these pictures every year and we tag people.
Yeah.
Maybe they're looking for that. You think it's possibly the reason?
Yes.
You do?
Oh, that? No.
Yeah.
Sure. Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
So you're saying that somebody might come because they want to up their Instagram following.
Yes.
And they kind of like their engagement and this and that.
Right.
And like, okay. And just like not there for the right reasons. Like they want to be Instagram famous.
Yes.
And they want to stay longer at the party, not go home sooner.
Correct.
Just
so possibly another picture of them would come out.
Yeah. Because like, we give out leftovers to people and they get to stay longer.
Right.
And then the people we don't give out leftovers to, they have to go home now.
Right.
Yeah.
So they might just stay like extra hours because of more possible Instagram photos and Facebook photos.
More slices of leftover turkey.
Right.
More Instagram followers. Yes. I get you.
Yeah. So they're trying to gain traction.
Got it.
One guy actually last year, after I posted my picture, he gained like 7 followers.
And that one person had like a catchphrase.
Which one? Oh.
What was it?
Waboom?
Waboom? What was that?
He had like wazoo?
What if somebody has a catchphrase that they want to get out there?
True.
Okay.
All right. And the last, it was kind of more like a scenario.
Mm-hmm.
Will the person, show up at the wrong house, then possibly hang out with our neighbor and drink wine with him and have some sort of awkward conversation instead of coming to see us?
Yeah.
They don't know the house. They come to a different one.
They come to the wrong one.
They drink
wine.
Accident. It's probably with another male in his late 50s or 40s. And the guy's probably named Ed from Miami or something like that.
Was he from Miami?
Yeah,
that Ed?
Probably. You can't be that
Ed
guy.
Shoulder issues?
Yeah, he's South Florida. Purple.
How does he have shoulder issues?
South Florida purple.
He's like, he's so built.
All right, so here is the question then.
Okay.
So who is your COVID cut? Who is not getting the mask?
Oh, is that what they get? Not the leftover turkey, the mask.
Yeah. Do you want to go first? I have my COVID cut. Do you want to do your COVID cut first? Or?
No, I'm not doing any COVID cuts.
You sure?
It's everyone or no one.
All right. Well, I'm going to go with...
It's everyone outside or no one at all.
Look, she doesn't know this yet, but I'm going with Purple Bomb Amanda.
No, Amanda's coming.
No, you might remember her from the Purple Bomb episode.
Yes.
She's probably most likely to do some sort of COVID bomb that would get her uninvited.
No, she's coming.
All right. All right. So, oh my Lord. Kramer is really love bombing this lady here. All right. We have one more thing we're going to do, a new segment.
Oh, new segment.
Before, because he's still not ready. We're giving him a little more time to love bomb.
Okay.
They're almost married. I think he's pulling out a ring. Okay. You've heard of Siskel and Ebert, correct?
Yes, I have.
Okay. They might have died. I'm not sure.
I don't know.
One of them, I think,
that's
died.
Sad.
Yeah,
I don't know if that's like they're so old too. They're just like, now it's like Rotten Tomatoes.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? You could just go online.
But now we have our new one that's going to actually trump them.
Oh.
It's called Mystic Michaela and Scott Review a Christmas Movie.
Oh, yes.
So that is our new segment. We're going to run it for probably the next 2 weeks.
We're bored here.
Yes.
And we do, and there's kind of like an ongoing thing, like the Netflix corny Christmas movies versus the Hallmark corny Christmas movies.
Right.
And I think Hallmark does it better, but.
Now, Siskel and Ebert had the thumbs up, thumbs down.
Yeah.
We have the system of crystals.
Crystals. How many crystals?
Right.
Okay.
So we're going to see how many crystals they get.
Okay.
5 crystals is the best.
Okay.
Okay. So the movie we have selected, it was a very, tough decision. It was between, I even forgot the one, but the one we picked was Christmas in the Smokies.
Oh, that was
on Netflix. Christmas in the Smokies.
Oh, so Christmas in the Smokies, I think it was 2015.
Yeah. Do we do spoiler alert just in case?
Oh, spoiler alert.
Okay,
honestly, there's no spoiler alert for this crap. Like, people fall in love. Okay. Like, they're cranky, one's not, then they fall in love.
Now, my review of this movie, I have to get like very official now because we're reviewers, we're critics, we're critics. You know, this is we're going to get this in the paper. My critique of it was the lead character really was horrible. I mean, not the person herself.
It's not her fault.
Not her fault.
The writing was terrible.
She was clearly inauthentic red.
Yeah.
And hiding her purple.
Yeah.
And she, you were not rooting for her.
No.
You were rooting for the bad guy, who's supposed to be the bad guy in the movie, the land developer.
He didn't say anything I didn't agree with.
No, he was actually trying to save the town. And she was actually really narcissistic and in it for herself.
Yeah, just her own family.
Yeah. All she cared about was her farm.
Right. By the way, nobody's probably seen this, so we can't go into the plot too much. It's too boring. But let's just put it this way. Scott thinks movies are real. So the whole time he's ranting that they mismanaged the money on the farm. All read about it.
Yes,
I don't know how much money you make from jam, because they sell jam.
They sell jam. Anyways, they all sell jam.
We had such a visceral reaction. You, I, and Brianna. We're screaming at the television. Screaming.
No, I was.
At one point, we had to take a break because we were so angry at her.
You don't know this. I canceled Netflix. You don't know this. I did. I called them. I said, I'm not doing this.
Over this 5-year-old movie, Christmas in the Smokies. I gave it a 1 crystal.
I just want to add one point.
Okay.
And this is really where I thought the movie really got me mad. So I'm just going to tell a little of the plot, okay? I know, give Kramer a little more time. The guy needed, he was a country singer. He needed money. There was a concert that he needed to perform in Seattle 3 days before his concert that he was performing on the farm. He needed to go there to make money. And the lady, the inauthentic red lady, wouldn't let him. She got all mad, oh, you're leaving me. Oh, you're leaving me.
And
that's
he said
not
he'd come
nice.
back.
Yeah, and it was 3 days.
And he broke up with her 30 years ago. Let it go. You were 16.
Right. So for her to be so selfish and not let him do that concert. I mean, the only way he wasn't coming back is if it was a planes, trains, and automobile situation.
Right.
And Steve Martin and John Candy couldn't get back for Thanksgiving. But they still made it.
It was such a self-fulfilling prophecy.
Yeah.
Everyone leaves me,
All right. So what's your crystals?
1 crystal. 1 amethyst crystal.
You're giving it 1 amethyst? Okay.
Yeah.
I am going to give it minus 2.
Minus
2 negative
I didn't know that was
amethyst
an option.
crystals.
Okay.
This is I take the crystals, I put bad juju on them.
Yeah. You
and
throw it at
I throw them. They fall out of the bra and onto the floor. They crack. That's what I'm giving. Negative 2. All right. 2. Next week, I think we're going to do Christmas Chronicles 2.
Oh, okay.
All right. We got our sponsors.
Okay. So, this podcast I've been able to be introduced to a lot of cool things. A new thing that I was introduced to is something called Issuu, ISSUU. As I am not a graphic designer, Scott, I struggle. Okay, what am I going to do? How am I going to make this cool thing for my Instagram? Or how do I do this neat thing for my website or whatever? Well, I was just introduced to Issuu, and it's amazing. You don't have to worry about nitpicky details or putting final touches on things. You just make the content, and then they make it look good. It's that simple. It's really cool. It's an all-in. So what it is it's an all-in-one platform to create and distribute beautiful digital publications, from brochures to magazines to sales collateral and more. I like to use it for my content. When I started, and I'll put some stories up and stuff, I started doing it. And if I can do it, you can do it. Trust me. It's perfect for creators and marketers, designers, educators. Oh man, when I was using it, I'm oh man, when I was teaching, I really could have done some cool stuff with this. Because publishers, salespeople, anyone that wants to make eye-catching content like real estate, you name it, you can do really cool things with it. And like I said, all you have to do is the content, and then they make it look good. Issuu makes it super easy. You upload your PDFs and files, and Issuu transforms them using your vision and customizable templates to create the content you want. It's really easy, on my laptop, just to kind of move things around, and they make it look good when you do it. With Issuu, you create it once and distribute it everywhere. So Everything's optimized. You can post it on your website and then social platforms like Instagram and Facebook, and they make these cool Instagram stories. There's an app that's really easy to use. You only have to make it once. That's the thing. You only have to make it once, and then they can make it into, okay, here's a Facebook story, here's a this, here's a that, here's for your website. And you're like, oh my gosh, and they like make it look normal so that it fits on each one of those platforms. And here's the thing, you can start using Issue for free right now. They also offer premium features that give a more customized experience. So what do? Get started with Issue today for free. Or if you sign up for a premium account, you'll get 50% off. Okay, when you go to issue.com/podcast, but please use the promo code KYA. That'll give you the 50% off. That's issue, ISSUU.com/podcast, and use promo code KYA at checkout for your free account or your 50% off the premium account. That's issue, ISSUU.com/podcast with promo code KYA. And thank you for using these codes. It helps us a lot in our podcast.
I'm going to use it for our Christmas movie review.
Oh my gosh, you could use it for like anything.
That's what I'm going to do.
You really can. You can make like
I'll put the movies and then
like the crystals. It's really easy with they have all these graphics and stuff. Okay. Our other sponsor today is, oh my God, we are so obsessed with this here. Like legitly obsessed. Function of Beauty.
Oh my God, everyone, my mailman, everybody.
Oh yeah, no, like the kids and I, like serious. I'm being serious.
No,
here.
I'm serious too.
Because I never knew about it. Like I always saw like the influencers do it and stuff like that, and we didn't know that it was something that was as great as it was until the podcast was like, oh, they sponsored us and we could try it and whatnot. So basically, we get it. You take this like quiz, which is really cool. It's very quick. It's very thorough, but it's 100% custom for you. You tell them about your hair goals. So I did one for me, and then I had Brianna do one, my daughter, my 11-year-old. You can choose the color and the fragrance you prefer. And then the Function of Beauty team determines like the right blend of ingredients and then bottles your custom formula to order. And then they deliver it. It's personalized right down to a customized bottle with your name on it. And they even put like little stickers and little things with the kids that just love it, and detailed instructions how to use it. The other thing is they will sometimes, well, they always do, they'll give you kind of like add-ons. So for my daughter, she's got really curly hair and she hates when it gets frizzy. And we got the anti-frizz. Oh my gosh. It's this like leave-in conditioner. It actually really works and it makes her very happy and it's shiny and it's all clean ingredients, which I'm really concerned about, especially for girls and just absorbing, and because we're indigos and we're empaths and we just don't want to like absorb all that stuff. All their formulas are vegan and cruelty free. They never use sulfates, parabens, or any other harmful ingredients, which I really appreciate. There are over 50,000 real 5-star reviews and counting, and Function of Beauty now offers, a new skincare line. I got to try that. It's the same quality and customization you expect now for your skincare routine. So what are you waiting for? It's a great gift for this holiday season. Go to functionofbeauty.com/KYA to take your quiz and save 20% on your first hair care order. That's functionofbeauty.com/KYA to let them know you heard about it from our show, please. And to get 20% off your hair care order, that's functionofbeauty.com/KYA. And again, thanks for using these codes.
You're not going to believe this.
What?
Kramer just pulled out a Function of Beauty bottle of shampoo.
With her name on it?
With our receptionist, Kelsey's name on it.
Wow.
How... They're that fast.
He's romantic. They are fast.
Or he probably has a lot of names. Because he did bring like a real weird bag. So, I don't know. Let's bring him on.
Let's talk to him. I am so happy to be with Steve Kramer. He's the host of Mix 106.5 Baltimore. He is the host of the Kramer and Jess Uncensored podcast and the host of the Certified Mama's Boy podcast, which is, what is it, like number 2 on the podcast magazine's Hot 50 for September?
We're not counting, but yes, we're absolutely number 2.
And we have to talk about how you got to that, because that is so amazing to me. But first, I wanted to bring us like back to where we met. And I forget what year it was. Was it like 2 years ago or something?
It was right before my life fell apart and you told me nothing of that was going to happen. So.
I know, I'm like, you're green. And then it just let you go.
It was probably, it had to have been 20, let's see, when did my life get terrible? 2017, I think?
I think that's when it was.
Yeah.
Because you were on over at the San Diego Morning Show, Kramer and Gina. 93.3. And Gina was a fan of like the Housewives. So I think she contacted me. She's like, oh, come on our podcast. And
I was such an eye roll, by the way.
Yeah, I know.
That was such an eye roll moment for me. I was like, oh my God. Because in the radio world, there's a bunch of these psychics that all want to come on the radio. And so Gina, my old host, is like, listen, like she's legit. And I'm like, okay, let me be a good team player here. And so, so then Mr. Michaela came on, and I was like, oh, my God, I think this girl's actually legit.
Oh, my gosh. I remember, because you're green-purple, right? That's your aura color. And, like, you were very polite, though. But, like, you had that green thing going on where you're like, really? You know, which is fine. I'm used to that.
Well, I just didn't believe anything you said. And I think I told you that straight up at first.
But you were polite about it.
What I found out, though, was over time, I was like one thing would happen, and I'd be like, that's weird. Well, maybe this Michaela's onto something. And like another thing would happen. I'd be like, she's a witch.
Well, let's talk about that. Because I remember when I read you at that time, you were green. I think I was like, you have to be out in nature more. And I honestly do forget what I said. But like, I do remember like right after that, some major life stuff started happening for you. So yeah, what happened?
That's what I remember. So the one that strikes me was like, you were like, that's where I lost complete credibility in you, because you were like, yeah, you know, you're green, so you like to be outdoors. And I was like, I hate being outdoors. Like this woman, what a dummy. Like we just had to write this woman off because nothing. So then it was probably, God, maybe a couple weeks later, my wife ends up leaving.
Oh,
and I start to kind of reclaim who I am as a person. I feel like over my decade of being married, I wasn't even quite sure who I was. And shortly after that, I took a trip to Hawaii and I went on this hike, and it was the most amazing hike that it was like just soul searching kind of hike where I just felt like one with nature. And I remember in that moment, I thought about you because I was like, was she right? Like, do I love being outdoors? Because my ex-wife hated being outdoors. And so then I was like, but wait a minute, I do love outdoors. Like I do. And then that's when I was like, this girl's onto something.
You had like your spiritual awakening. And then you became like a vegan too, didn't you? You
were vegan?
Yes,
yeah. It was like spiritual. I was all in, man. I was like 0 to 10, like real fast over here in the spiritual world.
Yeah.
But so then I went down the spiritual path, and that's when I started kind of like checking out your stuff more. And I was like, okay, there might be something that's not right in our peripherals that could be happening out in the world. So then I just went down like a crazy train. Because I think like once you like latch on to something like that, then you just want to know everything.
Yeah.
At least I do. I'm like, I can't just know a little bit. Now I have to know literally everything. So I feel like I went a little cuckoo. I mean, I would just be up just reading stuff all hours of the day. Because I mean, as you know, all this stuff is so complex and so deep. And so once you just you give an inch, at least for me, it's like you give me an inch and I'm just gonna go nuts with it.
I totally agree. I think that's what happens. Like you feel it resonate and you're like, I want that pain. Like, give it to me more. Like, yeah.
This is the best torture ever.
Yeah, this is great. Like more truth. But like with you being so green, I can see you really wanting to make it your own. Like, let me take this in, let me digest it, and let me, I guess like make it make sense to you. Because you had to change all your foundations. You had to change everything.
I didn't know who I was. I didn't know. I literally had no idea who I was. At my core, like I didn't know. I think because not only was I married for such a long time, where you kind of become a unit, and I have people pleasing tendencies to where whatever she would say, I'd be like, okay, well, let me just kind of go along with that because that must be what we like. And then on top of that, being in the media and being in like the public eye at all times, you're always open to scrutiny. And so I feel like as much as you try to block it out, there's always voices around you saying different things. And it's really hard sometimes to form your own opinion. So that's like the greatest gift from my divorce that I ever had was like figuring out who I am. What do I like? What do I like to do? What do I stand for? I like hiking. What? Like, where the hell did that come from?
Yeah. And then I remember I came back and then something happened right after, which was really devastating. Because I remember I came back and then, well, you had a whole other life change. And tell us about that.
Well, literally, it was like one thing after another. Yeah. Like Michaela would say a couple of different things, and there's actually some things that she saw coming that I didn't even think were going to be things where I was like, okay. And then literally within a couple of months, the things that she predicted were just like, oh my God, like that actually did come true. So that's when I was really like, okay, there's something totally into this. So then we even got into like the whole job thing to where you kind of foresaw like something was going to change for me professionally. And again, I was like, man, this isn't going to happen. I'm on the #1 show in the city. How could that ever happen? And then like, boom, I lose my job.
Isn't that crazy? That was like, what a shocker. I think everybody was shocked.
Well, within 2 years, basically my whole life had turned upside down. Yeah. Like anything that I had grasped onto as like who I was was no longer there. So talk about being at like the very bottom of the barrel. Like I'm out here with nothing. Anything that was familiar to me, divorce, lost my job, my dog had died, like anything that I knew that felt comfortable. And then the only thing I had left was living in San Diego. And then within the next couple months after that, then I even lost that. It's almost like I lost any kind of, I think once I got divorced, I kind of had leaned on a new community, right, with friends and spent a lot of time building that up. And then that was gone too. So I would say in the last 3 years, my life is completely different. Couldn't be more different.
But you know what I love about this? Because I remember right after you lost your position over, like, which really made no sense because it was such a high performing show and you had a podcast over there and everything else. And then it was just like gone. So like, and I think that's how spirit works. Like as soon as you start tapping into it, they can strip you. They like strip you. I know.
Why would they do that to me?
I know. But because they know it's something, it's like kind of like a rebirth. So it's kind of like, let's strip you down to nothing. Let's start over. Let's start from scratch now that you know this stuff. But you were sitting there and I remember just with you having this nugget of an idea, which was the Certified Mama's Boy pod, which is so cool.
I feel like I can only tell this on the spiritual podcast because I have done a lot of interviews recently about the podcast because it has done pretty well for itself. And I don't tell this part because I told it one time in an interview and it like went sideways and weird.
What?
And like I was like, what? So,
no, it's welcome here. Bring it.
I was like, I'll never tell that story. I'll never tell that story again to anybody. But I feel like this is a safe place.
We are your people. Yeah.
So about 6 months before I got let go from the radio show, I have a way of like pushing buttons on the radio. Like that's just kind of who I'm like that person on the show that'll like stir the pot and everything.
You're green purple. It's what you do.
And is that what green purple does? Do we stir pots?
Yeah, a little bit. Yeah.
That's perfect then. I'm green purple.
Oh no.
So I remember that I just one day randomly on, I think it was the podcast. I'm like, you know what, guys? I'm only going to do this podcast episode 100, and then I'm quitting the podcast. I'm going to go start my own podcast, and it's going to be a feel-good podcast, and that's exactly how this is going to go. And I didn't honestly have plans to do that. I literally had no plans to do a feel-good podcast or to leave that pod. There was nothing, like nothing. No, I just literally said it kind of to get a reaction out of people, and I'll be damned if we did not get to episode, I think, 98 of that podcast before I got let go. Still, though, no plans of doing a podcast outside of the other one that I was doing, especially a feel-good podcast. Like, it just didn't really feel of my nature. Like, how would I pull this off? I didn't have a plan. I had nothing. And then I'll be damned if I feel like there's just certain people that pop up in your life that steer you in a different direction, right? And I have a good friend that was in radio that got let go and had started a podcast and was really successful. And he's like, you got to start a podcast. I'm like, listen, I'm more of a radio guy. I'm not a podcast guy. Like, it's just what I do. And he's like, you should do it. And he's like, so what do you want it to be about? And I was like, ooh. And literally I was sitting there at my kitchen table one day and I was like, what can I do? If I was going to do a podcast, like, what would I do? I was like, I don't really know anything. I'm not really good at anything. I don't have any skills. Like, I don't have any like expertise.
Oh no,
I definitely
nothing.
Can't do.
Absolutely nothing, right? Oh my gosh, please.
Well, I just tell stories about my life. Like that's really all I do. I don't know anything. I thought about doing it like a male bachelor podcast, but then I started realizing there's literally a 5,000 bachelor podcast.
Do you watch
The
Bachelor?
I love The Bachelor.
Oh my God. I don't want to go down that. That's all rabbit hole.
To be fair, I have not watched this season. I've been too busy. I've not watched the Claire season.
It's weird. So. It's just too weird.
It seems like it. I watched it. And tell me this. It seems a little. I feel like I'm just like. She's too old to be acting the way she's acting. Like when 22-year-olds act like that, I'm like, it's fine.
No, I know.
But like 38-year-olds are acting like that.
I know.
I'm like,
well, that's like my age. So I'm like, oh my God, like I'm not like the idea of dressing up in a ball gown. You know what I mean? And like I'm like I don't know, but she has a pink aura. I talked about it. So like pink aura people are like big children. You know what I mean? So that's okay. I mean, but yeah, it's weird. And now it's just kind of creepy. They're in the same resort all the time, so it's a little stressful.
Right. So I'm only like episode and a half into it, but now spoiler alert, she's gone now. Yeah, she's gone.
Yeah, now there's Tasha, whole new Bachelorette.
Right. Yeah. I'll catch up eventually.
Yeah, you'll catch up.
So I'm sitting there at the kitchen table and I'm like, Bachelor podcast? No, like it doesn't really speak to me. I was like, I've always been called a mama's boy my whole life. Like, why do I do? And like literally the name Certified Mama's Boy just popped in my head.
Wow, spirit.
Yeah. Like what? And then I'm like, what the hell is that? And then, but I was like this force like came over me. It was so crazy. It was like, that's it. Like, and my body just kind of started going with it. It was like, yeah, like that's the name of the podcast. And that's what we got to do. Now, who do I need to get on to? Like, I didn't even call my mom yet, but I was like, yeah,
she's in. Like she's good. She'll do it. Yeah.
Like this energy, like, I had all this energy just to do this podcast. And I had no idea how I was going to do it or get it done. And I remember I called my mom and I was like, hey, all right, this is going to sound crazy, but I think we should do a podcast together. And she's like, no. And then I was like, well, please. And she's like, okay. So here we are. We are a little over 700,000 downloads later. Wow. And we're, so it's been cool.
That's amazing. And it's so crazy how you said that happened because like way back when you're like, I'm not at episode 100, I'm going to start my own thing. You spoke that. I did a whole podcast episode on that a few episodes ago, like how words change your life. Like just, that was a mantra. And when you said that, it went out into the universe and just solidified.
Well, that scares me
because that scary?
And we can talk about that because I'm sure there's got to be people that are kind of curious about that. Was that me creating that, or was that creation coming and I was just saying it out loud?
Oh, I feel like it's more, it was what was supposed to happen because you can only manifest what's authentic to you. So that authentically, like it's probably was building up a long time in your radio career that you're like, hey, wait a second, I need more control. And it was building, you were shoving it away. Oh, you know what people say, or this is how it goes, or like all the nonsense they feed you in any industry that there's only one way to do anything. And when you said that, it aligned with such truth and it aligned with like such, like a soul contract thing with you that it just manifested easier because you said it. So I would say it was supposed to happen, but it wasn't going to happen unless you said it, like
it's
that.
It's just crazy. Like when I truly never had plans to do this. Now I'll tell you like part 2 creepy story. Oh. So I get let go, right? Yeah. And I'm just like, the podcast is part 1 of that, right? Like it just feeling like not having a plan and just letting my body kind of do its thing. And then luckily people showed up for it, which was so cool. And it just like worked. And I don't know, like, people ask me, and again, I can't say this on any other podcast or any other interviews because people think I'm crazy when I'm like, I don't know how this is happening. Mm-hmm. It's just happening. Because people are like, well, what's your plan? What is your 5-year business plan? I'm like, I don't know. I just wake up and do stuff. And like, it just happens. It's so crazy. So then part 2 of this is the girl that I'm working with now, I worked with over in San Diego.
Yes.
And her name is Jess and she's great. And when I got let go, I just kept over and over in my head saying, I really wish I could find a station that would just give me and her a shot by ourselves.
Wow.
And that's like a pretty rare thing because Jess is not as experienced in the radio game. She's still pretty new, but I knew that her and I had this great chemistry and that she like bust her ass and like she really could put together a great show. And I knew it was going to be an uphill battle, but I just kept like thinking like, God, I just wish I could find, and there were, some weird job opportunities would come and they'd kind of fall through. But there's all these with these like seasoned pros. And then when all of a sudden, like this job in Baltimore opens up and they were like, well, who would you want to work with? And they kind of gave me this laundry list of all these people they would like me to consider because they're all these professionals that have all this experience that are available right now. And I just threw the idea out. I'm like, hey, listen, there's this girl named Jess, and she's a little green, but I think she's really great.
Yeah.
And typically they'd be like, no, that's crazy. Why would we like put this girl that has no experience in this main chair to be able to do this? But they were like, all right, let's give it a listen. They listened. Everybody started talking. And now literally it's like,
I know. That's crazy.
What?
Like I am obsessed with this story because it's you and let's not just back up a little bit. Like you were not always like feeling super. I think you're brushing over the emotional part of it because I feel like a lot of days you were like, what's going on in my life or like whatever. And then it all fit. But then these moments happen like the podcast as well. You have now the Kramer and Jess show over in Baltimore mornings. Like it just all figured itself out. What it's interesting with you because you were saying like things just weren't happening or were happening or whatever.
The weirdest things, like my life, I felt and I still feel completely out of control. And on the emotional side, it was such a mind F because I literally felt like I was watching a movie.
Wow.
I felt like I was watching a movie and none of it made sense. I was like, I had so many moments that were like, it was like from the divorce on where I was like, wait, what? And so many weird things were happening at work that they were like kind of like turning against me for like no reason and like kind of pushing me out.
Yeah.
And like, I was like, wait, but why? Like, I'm not doing anything. But things like when one thing wouldn't push me out, like another thing would come, which is like, boom, boom, like trying to push me out. It was so stressful.
Yeah.
Because I couldn't figure out like, why is my wife having this affair? What is all of these things happen? My dog is dying. Like, why is it all happening the way that it's happening?
It's crazy. Like your ego just took a batter like that. They beat the crap out of your ego.
I had to literally step back and say, like, it was the absolute, it was a death. I died.
Yes.
Like literally I died.
Yeah.
Like the old me is dead.
Yeah.
I mean, a lot of the parts of it are, this is a brand new life that I'm living.
Yeah.
And I have tried to share this like little testimony to people that there's a lot of things I feel like you're going to be out of control of. And that's not me. You know that, Michaela.
No, I don't even know who's talking right now. Oh my God.
All I want to do is control everything. God, the fact that you're even hosting this is making me uncomfortable right now, right? I want to be in control of it.
That's why I'm like, oh, Kramer's good. He'll just talk. He knows what. I'll just tell him what to talk about. He'll just go. I'm like, good.
let him do his thing.
Yeah, dude, you're so good at. No, but like, I mean, that's like an ego death. Like, you totally had an ego death. Like, it wasn't real, and it's hard because like when you let those parts of yourself die, like all the identities and all this stuff, it's there's a mourning and a grieving period. It doesn't mean it's not correct. It just means that it still hurts. And I also find it interesting that the stuff that was supposed to work out happened easy. And I think that that's a big thing in our lives. Like the stuff that's supposed to work out, it's not that it's not hard work. Like you've worked hard on your Certified Mama's Boy podcast. You worked hard to get this opportunity at, 106.5, but it happened easily, So there's a difference between like hard work and like just doors slammed in your face.
It was exactly right. It all came together very easily. Mm-hmm. Like, yes, I bust my ass between doing a radio show every day and a podcast every day, and like just moving my life over here. But the opportunity was with the podcast too, the same thing. It was just like, I'm going to do a podcast. And things just kind of kept coming into my spectrum. I didn't know how to do a podcast. I had no idea. I had no clue how to get it started.
I love your podcast though. Like Nancy, I want to borrow her. Like I think anybody that wants like you can borrow her, like you can listen. Because you and your mom have like conversations at the beginning of every episode. Right. And she's just so grounding and so calm and she's so sweet and she gives such nice advice and she just like adores you, which is just so sweet.
I can do no wrong. It's really funny.
She thinks you're so funny, and it's just so like I just love her.
It's why I have as many dating problems as I have because I'm like I'm never gonna find a woman that loves me as much as this woman.
Yeah. Like, nobody loves you like Mom. It's true.
She's been that way since birth, though. Like all of my issues in life have come because my mom loves me too much.
Okay, interesting. That's interesting you say that because like I obviously do a lot of readings for relationships and things like this. So when I was on the Kramer and Jess Uncensored podcast a few days ago. I don't know if this ever happens to you when you're doing radio, like when someone's talking and then like in the back of your head, you're like, oh my God, they're actually saying this like out loud. So you were talking about, you got your career figured out, like, you're working hard and working at it and things like that, but it's flowing. But you were talking about your relationship life. And
that's the only part of me that's not flowing right now, which is honestly making me feel really insecure.
Oh.
because I feel like if everything else is flown and kind of like done the thing it's supposed to do, why is it not happening in my dating life? Now, to be fair, I think I'm probably getting in the way of it a little bit. I'm causing more trouble than it's worth, probably a lot of times. But I think that when you go through things and things do come together so easily, you then, when things don't seem as easy, you start to question, like, is this the right thing? Mm-hmm. And that's kind of like where you and I got in the conversation on the Uncensored podcast was like, why is this not easy for me then? Why is the dating portion of my life not easy? Like, why is it not coming together? Even though I feel like I've dated a lot of great women and they've been fantastic. And there's one that I'm dating right now that I think like she's great, but it's just not coming together easy.
Yeah.
Right.
And when you were talking, you used the word love bombing. Like, so basically you're like, I feel like I'm a love bomber, but you have a total conscience about it. Like, you feel really bad about it.
I do. I feel terrible about it. And I don't think a lot of guys talk about this.
No,
they just don't. I think you get labeled as a D-bag is what happens.
Yes.
And then I don't think a lot of guys know how to emotionally process the fact that they're a love bomber.
Yes, it's true, Kramer.
You know?
Yeah.
It's just like what they do.
That. Yeah.
Well, and I'm not proud of it. By no means am I proud of it.
I think it's a phase you're going through.
I just have realized it is a reoccurring, I don't want to say dilemma, but theme in my dating life.
Yeah, so what's going on? So what happens typically to you at the beginning? Okay, you meet somebody, you're like, oh my gosh, like heart connection. Like, what do you do? How do you react to that?
Every girl that I date, and this is why I got myself into the situation that I got myself into. So really quick backstory on my dating life. So I went through a divorce and then I took some time off. Then I got into this pretty unhealthy situation with a woman that was also kind of privately going through the divorce, and I was kind of privately going through divorce, and there was so much like neither of us were ready, and it was just all the insecurities were coming up, and it was not a great situation on either behalf. But then I took some time, and then I'm like, I'm just going to date. And my old co-host Gina, she was like, I feel, because me, like I am so nervous to get anything wrong. So what I was doing was I was putting women through these, like, it was literally like a 90-point inspection before I'd even go on a first date with you. Like I need to know everything about you, your whole history, where you're going with your life, what did you have for breakfast? And if any of those things didn't check off my list, I wouldn't do it. Because I was like, what's the point? You're not my soulmate. Like, what's the point here? So then my co-host like, just chill. And just, if you see a girl and you have an interest in her, just ask her out. And I was like, okay. So I did it once and it was like awesome. And so then I did it again, and then I did it again, and 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 I did it again. And I kind of started just, talking about The Bachelor.
Yeah.
I always felt like, why do these dummies cry on the show? They've only known each other for like a month,
Yeah.
But that's what happens is like, I come in to if I get those feelings, they come in very intensely. They come in like, I feel like every girl, if I go on a first date with her and it goes well, I hop right into, well, she must be the one.
Yeah.
So now I was dating like 7 the ones.
Yeah.
Okay. Because that's what I just did. And like, I don't casually date well. I realize now in hindsight, because I just attach so fast. And every single one of them, I was like, well, they could be the one. Like this could be it. I'm like level 10 on emotions. But then there's just something, and it usually happens, I would say 4 to 6 weeks in.
Okay.
To these situations where it just turns off.
Okay.
And by this point, I've already said I love you. Wow. I've already talked about the future. I've already talked about imagine when we have babies.
No, it's good. Yeah, it's
these
good.
are things that I'm
talking about this.
I'm genuinely feeling, but then out of nowhere, and I don't know what happens, they just turn off. It's like I'll just wake up one day and be like, I don't feel any of that anymore.
Yeah.
And I don't know why it happens. I'm now able to recognize that it happens. So I basically just keep my mental middle school diary of feelings and emotions in my head when I'm like, oh my God, I love this person. They're just the greatest and they're the cutest. I just keep it all inside of me now because I feel like if I let it out too soon, it causes problems.
Yeah.
It causes the love bombing effect where you come in too strong and then you just dip out.
Yeah. And thank you so much for being so vulnerable. Like, this is like something, like I said, a lot of people won't admit to, and like you have a conscience about it, and you're like trying to understand it and be self-aware. You know what I mean, and all that.
I feel terrible about it. I mean, it got to a point where it was just I would start feeling guilty because, again, everything that I was feeling was an authentic feeling, but it just wouldn't last. Like, the feeling just didn't have longevity to it. So then I just had to kind of be like, all right, 6 weeks, don't you say a word. Don't like, you leave them on.
Keep it in your diary. Yeah, like
just
that.
Keep
like
it, write it down. Go home, tell yourself, but don't tell anybody else.
I see you writing like those little girls in middle school, like Mrs. Kramer. You know what I mean? Like writing it, practicing.
I'm like Mr. their last name, Mr. Hearts whatever, around it, It's bad. It's bad. I mean, is there a spiritual side to love bombing?
So this is like what I wanted to get into because like I feel like you're probably attracting a lot of empaths because what happens is like deep empaths because
they are.
Yeah. Because what happens is like they know you're genuine at first. Like they feel that. And they also feel like this almost just very free-falling vulnerability you give them at first, which is like super refreshing for an empath. Like, oh my God, like he's actually admitting this stuff that like a lot of people don't say. Like, I don't want to be alone, or I want to have babies with you, or I want to like, this is what I want. I really always wanted this. I don't know how to do it. Like, you're very honest and open. So like the indigos and the blues, they don't care. They're like, oh my God, like tell me everything. I'm here for this. Let me help you and fix you and do. And then the problem is like they keep going. And you're like, oh my God, I did too much. Yeah. Because you're green. So I feel like there's a couple things like you want, like control is important for you. 2, I feel like you lost control, like you were talking about, all those 10 years, being married and maybe married to not the correct person for you. I feel like you're a little traumatized still. Like you haven't been divorced that long. So it's like still a healing situation. And so your purple jumps in like, all right, cool. I'm in this 100%. Yeah. Fine. And then your green is like, holy hell, like how is this going to work? And it finds some little logical thing.
Yes.
And that's your green. Cause it's like, oh, but she lives there and I live here. Or she does this for a living and I do. And it's like, you can't get over it.
That's exactly right. Yeah. I didn't realize until you said that. It's a basic, like I step into every relationship based on emotions. And then eventually logic starts to like, I think once I do start to get really excited about it, that green side does kick in.
Yeah.
And it says like, well, wait a minute.
Yeah.
Okay, so you've been hurt. So let's remember how terrible that was there for a little bit of time.
Yeah.
And then let's that's when then I'm like, well, maybe you're right, like how can I date her if I like macaroni and cheese and she likes the spaghetti sauce? This is never going to work. This is never going to work.
Yeah, and I think but your green can get hijacked by your ego. So we all have an ego. It's the part of us that keeps us the same, that likes to keep us the same, the part that's trying to keep you from getting hurt again. And it gets like it hijacks you and then makes you focus on something really silly. But I think you being self-aware and talking about like you are so vulnerable about this, and I feel like you just keep doing that and being honest and open about it. It's only going to help you, and then you'll recognize it.
Am I doing it the right way then? I mean, should I come in and because I truly feel like, and that's one thing that I've always I have to give my mom credit for is always being, vulnerable. And I do, because I come in literally to every dating situation with my heart just wide open, just like ready just to hug you.
Yeah.
And like, it's the potential to get hurt, but I still go in just like guns a-blazing.
Yeah.
Which I feel like could be healthy. So like, is it okay? Should I be saying all these things that I'm feeling? If we're going to say that vulnerability is the way to go and honesty and all of that, knowing though that green's going to kick in.
Yeah. I think like you being yourself, that's you, that's who you are. And you're honest. And I feel like you're not hiding anything. That's why they stick around. That's why, we were talking about who named it the situationship, the issue you have with, I think you call her Miss California right now or something.
Yeah.
I think that's what, they get that like, these aren't deal breakers for a lot of these women. They're like,
right. So I'll give you the backstory of Miss California. We call her Miss California. It's this girl that I started to date in San Diego when I was still kind of all over the place. Right. this was in October of last year, and I felt this thing for her. She was definitely different because there were a lot of things about her that I thought were cool and it kind of aligned to what I wanted, right? January, I lost my job, and I was like, it's such a bad mental place. I knew I couldn't be in a relationship, and so pretty much said, listen, I've got to take a step back. Also knowing that with my career, I may or may not be able to stay in San Diego, so why even invest in all this, right? Like, I'm not going to drag her through this if I don't even know what I'm doing. So blah, blah, blah. We keep kind of talking. I may see her, every now and then. And then I leave and go to Baltimore. And once I got here, we just kind of started talking. It was like, well, should we just try this whole long distance thing? Yeah. Should we just see like if this is going to work and like just give it a shot? And now I'm like stuck in this weird predicament because I'm not letting, it's almost like I'm working in reverse of what I typically do. I'm only looking at the, oh my God, like the terrible things that could happen, right? Like what happens? Because she is ready. Yeah. Like she is like, I will move out there. Yeah. I will follow you. I think you're the best.
Yeah.
And I'm like, like she's love bombing me now.
Yeah. She's like, let's do it.
And I'm all like, like, wait. And she's like, but you were the guy. And I was like, I know, but now I'm like, Yeah. And so I am so fear-based dating right now. I'm so fear-based dating, and it doesn't feel like it's naturally coming together right now.
Yeah.
Which is making me scared too, right? Like I'm just playing these what ifs. Well, what if she gets out here and she doesn't like it? Or if basically it's another like love bomb situation. Like what if she gets out here?
Yeah.
And all these feelings that I'm feeling, right now again for her, and then she moves her life out here and as a chronic love bomber.
Yeah.
What if
I ruin her life?
Feelings change?
Yeah. Like I screwed up for her. Yeah. And I feel like with you that it's like that conscience, it's like, and I think and when you said like, should I keep doing it? It's also, when I talk to a lot of people who get love bombed, it's like, all right, you got to learn when to step away too, a little bit, on the other side of it, because you're like I think there's two type of love bombers. You're more honest, and then there's ones that don't know they're doing it, and they can get really condescending and nasty.
I feel like we've got to point that out too, because I feel like I'm always giving too much credit to love bombers.
Yes, I feel you're really like a self-aware one who apologizes for it constantly.
I think there's a lot of people though that love bomb, and their objective is much different than mine was.
Yeah,
like there's a lot of guys that are going to tell you exactly what you want to hear, just to do some heavy petting. Exactly. You know what I mean?
Exactly.
And so mine was never that way. I mean, it's a nice perk, but I never did it to like manipulate. It was never a manipulation factor. No. It was just genuinely. So I think as we're talking love bombing, I feel like a lot of women are listening. They're like, oh my God.
Like is there hope for my love? Like, no, like a lot of these, I would say there's two types. You're like a kind one, which is why I'm talking to you. And then there's like ones who, I don't know, they do this like mind screw with women where they're like, I'm going to get you vulnerable so then I can be condescending or something. Or like, they're more toxic where you're just going through something right now. But at the same time, like I would say it's like the other person's responsibility too. Like if they don't feel like this is going the way they want it to go quick enough, then they have to kind of take their power back and step away or whatever. But like, in your situation, it's hard because you don't want to, and you're green too. And I find this thing, especially because your mom loves you so much. And I see this sometimes with like good mom-son relationships. And it's not a bad thing. It's just, you never want to hurt people's feelings because it's like you as a boy, you love your mother so much. You never wanted to hurt her growing up. And then everybody becomes mom. And everybody becomes mom. When you're a kid, your world just replicates however you were parented. So everyone's mom now, and you don't want to hurt their feelings because it's triggering. It's just like when you were a little boy, you didn't want to hurt mom's feelings. You don't want to hurt this girl's, Miss California's feelings.
Interesting.
So it's kind of like, we all do it. It's just kind of like the projection or whatever. And it's okay to hurt people's feelings, because that's just life. I think we do hurt each other, and that's how it goes. But I'm interested to see how this will pan out and play out for you.
Well, that's why you're here. Okay. Don't tell me that. If you tell me you're interested in knowing how it's going to turn out, like, you're the person that knows how this turns out.
I'm throwing my crystal ball away. I'm like, I don't know. Like,
I don't know. Good luck, though.
I like her a lot because you gave me her picture for the other podcast when we talked about it. And, and I talked about her more there, but like I like her a lot. So I'm like, she's so nice and I like her. And, you know, I think like everyone in your life, like, you know, Jazz, for example, is like, oh my God, just stop it. Date her. Like, or whatever.
Everyone, literally.
She's a sweetie.
I just started talking about her publicly and
that's a big step.
I don't even know why I did. It was a bad decision because everyone's like, just do it. Just go for it. Take the leap of faith and just see. So let me ask you that, since you know my personality type, right, with my color, my aura, do you think my hesitation to press forward is based on that we're not supposed to be together, or is based on my fear of what if? Is this basically the universe saying like, no, or is this my own brain fear being like, but what if?
This is you. Like, I feel like with you, just from reading your energy, things have to be your idea. Otherwise, you don't like them. And you don't know why you don't like them. You're just like, I don't like it. Because you feel out of control.
That's so me.
So I feel like you just have to figure out how to make this your idea. Because now that she's all on board, she's like picking out curtains or like whatever she's doing, you're like, oh my God, is this not my idea? Is the universe like not cool with me? That's the thing, like with a lot of these things, like it's free will. Like I feel like she could work out for you. I feel like you guys would do well together. I feel like she's sweet. You know what I mean? I feel like it could happen. But I think you just have to figure out a way to make it your idea.
That's interesting. That's really interesting. So as long as I can convince myself of like, yes.
Yeah, wait, this was my idea. This is my idea. The distance makes it a real issue, you know, because that's an added, not your idea thing.
It's been tricky. It's a tricky situation. So I don't know if that's giving you any clarity into love bombing.
It does. It definitely, thank you.
I just want to preface that be careful if you're telling me that like a guy is telling you he loves you on Tinder, that may not necessarily be the same. They're not all
like Steve Kramer. Like that's for sure. But I appreciate the insight because you're, like I said, a self-aware one. You know, I think anybody who love bombs has something kind of going on psychologically or whatever in their own life or whatever. You're more honest about it and open, and you also have like a soul and a kind heart. So that's like helpful. But
where do you think people that love bomb, and let's take good love bombers for a second. What do you think that comes from?
I feel like it comes from a deep fear and a deep insecurity in disappointing people. Like getting some sort of role put up. I feel like kind of like, you know, being so vulnerable at first, right out of the gate. And I want this, I want this, I want this. And then all of a sudden when somebody's like, okay, you're like, oh my God, can I deliver all that at that like can I do, and not wanting to hurt people or being kind of a pleaser or being somebody who like you'd rather keep a buffer between you than show somebody maybe who you really are because you're still coming to terms with that. I feel like that's kind of like the good love bomber issue.
Interesting. What was the guy's name on Bachelor?
Which one?
Bachelorette. He was a love bomber 2 seasons ago. Oh
my God, which one?
He was the one that was like basically
bad.
Remember he was all like, I love you after like the first week. Good looking guy, country guy.
Peter?
No, he wasn't. He was like the villain of the season. It was on the Bachelorette.
Oh, the Bachelorette.
The Bachelorette. And like they were giving him such a hard time because they were calling him a love bomber because he was basically just coming in and being like, I think that you're the one. I think that you're, you know, and all the guys were kind of like, listen, you're doing this as a manipulation tactic. You know, like you're doing this to try to like win the game or to try to, you know, to win her over. And there's no way you can love a person after a week, can you? Like, is that possible? And so I think that term, I'm glad we're having this conversation because I feel like the term is very polarizing. It's not the cutest definition to have by your name by any means, but hopefully from my point of view, and I don't know, maybe I'll get some more terrible feedback about my dating life, but I hope it's like just showing the other side of like, sometimes we as guys also feel those exact same feelings that women feel. Cause I feel like women have that thing too of like after the first date and you're already planning out your wedding and blah, blah, blah. Like, some of us guys do it too. A lot of us just aren't vulnerable enough to admit it.
Yeah, and you're doing that. No, and I appreciate that. And I have to refer people over to both your podcasts, but the Certified Mama Boy podcast, like it's how you do that every day. Like how many episodes? Like there's many episodes.
It's a lot.
Yeah. I listened to one this morning and I was like, oh my gosh, like, you know, and you were so green on there because you were talking about like deals and you were talking about like something with like winter coat.
Oh, Kohl's Cash. I just found out what Kohl's Cash is. And
it's like you were obsessed. It wasn't even an ad. You just needed to tell us about it.
I'm sure
how
it felt
works.
like one. I was so excited because I love good deals. And I finally bought something from Kohl's for the first time. And they gave me like this Kohl's Cash. And I was like,
you're like, do you give me money?
I get free money back that I get to go spend later on? Like, this is incredible.
Like, you show back up. And then your mom's like a yellow. So I feel like you were taught, because yellows love a coupon. Like, they're good at that. So I feel like you were taught, like, oh my God, look, you can double your coupons or this or that, or it's a good deal. Or, you know.
She loves it. She loves it. I get it from her. We used to have Walmart Wednesdays where every Wednesday, this is very Georgia. I grew up in Georgia. Okay. Every Wednesday, we would go to Walmart and I could pick out one thing. But that was my favorite thing. It was always so cheap. I could get the coolest toy for like $4. And this is the greatest thing ever. So, yes, my podcast is called Certified Mama's Boy.
Yeah, where else can we find you? Tell us.
So you can get that wherever you get your podcast. I'm also on Kramer and Jess Uncensored, way different podcast. That's one of my co-host Jess, and we can talk about it's more relationship based. She's also in a new relationship. She's been dating a guy that she is quite opposite of me because she had a moment we call her boyfriend Garage Boy. They had a moment in a garage when they first met, wink, wink, nudge, nudge. And then it's just been hot and heavy. 7 months later, they're moving across the country together and moving in together. And they only lived long distance before though. And so they only spent like a total of maybe 2 weeks combined together. And so now they're moving in and we're dealing with that. And there's me and my ridiculous love life. So that's Kramer and Jess Uncensored. And then if you're in Baltimore, you can listen to Mix 106.5 in the mornings. It's a lot of shows.
Yeah, I love it. Kramer, thank you so much. Thanks for coming on. I appreciate you so much.
No, my God, I'm such a fan. Are you kidding me? I'm so excited. We're finally here. I've been harassing you for years to get on this podcast.
No, please. You don't love bomb me. We're okay. All right, we'll catch you over on your podcast. Thanks, Kramer.
Thanks.
Thank you guys so much for tuning in. As always, this podcast is for you and about you. I really appreciate if you subscribe to this podcast and if you leave a 5-star review on iTunes. That means a lot to us and helps us so much. Thank you so much. Bye, guys.
If you want to be the most interesting person at the cocktail party, well, hop on over and listen to the Brain Candy podcast.
Our award-winning content will have you laughing while you're learning.
We read all the best articles, books, and studies and keep up with new TV shows, documentaries, and pop culture. And then we cram it all into 2 shows a week.
Conspiracy theories, cannibal rabbits, unsolved mysteries, the history of the Walkman. There's something for everyone.
The Brain Candy podcast. Find our link in the show notes.
Or simply search for the Brain Candy podcast on your podcast app.